Greetings and peace. Just some thoughts this morning. Where are we heading to economically? Are we going to be able to recover? Talking to some of my friends in other countries, reading some of the articles that are being released from other countries about what their economic forecasts are, I don't think we are. In the short term, with the printing of this money, this stimulus money, it helps us with our immediate needs. But we just keep expanding that debt bubble. And when that explodes in the future, it's going to cause more pain than what this virus could ever have caused. I got friends in other countries right now that have taken 50% salary cuts. Could you imagine that happening in the United States? People would go crazy, right? See, these corporations in a lot of these emerging countries, they are able to abuse the workers there because the United States was set up a little different. That's why a lot of people want to come to the United States, because they see the opportunity to make more money or be protected or more valued for their work. But see, the United States is in trouble too, because we're the greatest debt-based country in world history. And eventually, that's going to come back to hurt us all, or at least those of us who are not making preparations to sustain ourselves through a collapse or a reset, which I see coming in the near future. Because all debt has to be either cleared, right, or it has to be paid. We're not going to be able to pay off our debt. Not when we're pumping trillions of dollars into our economy. Not when other countries are pumping billions of dollars into their economies. Can't pump it, can't pump it up enough, right, to save it. It's not going to save us, because when things reopen and these corporations who have lost money, right, even though they make profits every quarter, but them losing money in this last quarter, these corporations that have lost money are going to do exactly what I was just talking about, which is cut salaries, reduce wages, cut workers, try to make things more efficient. Or you'll have corporations that'll say, you know what, we don't want to be in this business. We see the world heading into another direction. So then you're going to have mass layoffs. See, the stimulus money is not really going to help us. I mean, it helps in the short term. Don't get it twisted. There's people that need food, clothing, water. We need those things and it helps. But the bigger picture here. See, I foresee that a lot of the news is going to forecast it as, things are moving back. We're getting back good, right? When things start to open up. People are going to dump their money. The common person is going to dump their money into the stock market because you have these stocks that are at lows. Some of them might go up. People are going to make a lot of money during these times because there's a lot of volatility. Things are moving up and down. But with that, a lot of people are going to get wiped out because, say, the virus starts to spread again and then the government shuts down. And then people go into a greater state of fear than before. Because then we realize, oh, this wasn't just a one-time thing. And look at what already happened from the first time. These are possibilities of what may happen. Even without the virus coming back, I see that we can't recover economically. But just imagine that virus came back up, or the reality of what these corporations start doing hits people's minds. And then they take money out of the stock market. And then all those common folk that went in get crushed. I see things like that happening. This debt-based system cannot last into the future. On a biblical level, we know that eventually it's going to be a digital type of system anyway. The prophecy that comes from the Bible. There's a lot of people on the finance side that don't deal with the Bible that see this as well. But there's prophecy from the Bible that states the same. We know we're moving into some type of mark of the beast system, eventually, a digital system. Money, gold, and silver will have some value in the short term, and we should look to save those things. That's really what I wanted to say. Look to have some assets on you to save. If you get stimulus money, save. Because if there's runs on the bank, you're not going to be able to get cash, right? This whole game is going to be a game of liquidity and trying to keep the economy afloat and moving, and a lot of it's going to be a facade. So holding on to some things to prepare yourself for whatever may come in the future is going to be wise for us. Ultimately, the most important thing is having a right standing before our Maker, right? But there is material preparation, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Again, can you imagine those things coming to the United States? And I know I'm talking on a lot of different levels and connecting dots, but that may not seem related, but it all ties in. Just looking at the news of what these other countries are saying, that the global food supply is already disrupted and we're going to have shortages that are going to affect more people than ever before. More people are going to go hungry because of this situation. See, these are the things that I'm talking about. More pain because of our economies being disrupted. I personally don't believe the quarantine was right, but, you know, people would disagree for the safety of others, and I understand that. I can sympathize with that. But for me, there's going to be more pain because of us being quarantined and money not being able to flow. But the world economies were going down anyway. So now I'm looking at this as a situation that's being used to cover the corruption of what these countries were doing with central banks and how money was flowing and whatnot, etc. I mean, it is what it is. It seems like a cover-up now because there's no way to really save our economies. I can't reiterate that enough, especially for the younger generations. This is the world that we're living in. So having some material assets is going to be very important. Food, water, some cash on you, gold, silver, maybe. Eventually knowing that those things are not going to mean anything, but in the short term, maybe in the next couple of years, they might have some added value in our life. So again, material preparation, but number one, spiritual preparation. Right standing with our Maker. Because our time's short. We don't know when we're leaving. But again, talking to contacts in different countries. Wages being cut already. Salaries being cut. You know, these corporations, we live in a corporatocracy. These corporations are going to really dictate the direction of where we're going. They lost money. Okay, well, some of them are going to look to get money back, like I was saying. Well, how do they do that? Become more efficient, lay people off, cut wages. Again, could you imagine you going to your job and having a 50% pay cut? This is what's happening in other countries right now. And they're saying it's going to continue to happen. And the United States is going to be affected by this just the same. The same type of things are going to happen because the United States is a corporatocracy as well. These big corporations control most business. So what they decide, you know, is going to have the biggest effect and impact on how we're going to move out of this. So when you start seeing big companies go out of business, understand what we're moving into. Pay attention to what they're saying in the news. This plant shutting down, right? This plant reducing, this manufacturing reducing their hours. That's what we're moving into. Again, the point, spiritual preparation, material preparation, and the fact that there's really no long-term recovery from this. We got to make of that what you may. Pay attention, stay sober-minded. Get wisdom over everything. Until next time, peace.